Yo guys, my name is Ellie Games, and welcome back to Let's Play The Letter. Where we last left off, we are almost getting ready to finish up Marian's chapter, but we get to see a little bit of her past with her friend named Lorraine. Lorraine and her were friends at the school that she went to. She didn't return the feelings that Lorraine had for her because she thought it was impure and unclean and pretty much all that stuff that people think of homosexuality, pretty much. And Lorraine ended up killing herself. The school said it was an accident, that someone did it or whatever, but it's like it was obvious that she committed suicide. But she is being haunted by Lorraine. And we are now at the bar and we met Ash, who is looking into things about the couple, I think specifically Luke. And we are smashed off our ass, just saying. And, whoops, not what I want. And, no, Branch. We're right there. We're getting close to the end. So, and he really is pale, paler than before at least. I can see the gears turning in his head on overtime. Suddenly, he shows a card in my hand. On it, his name, Ashton Frey, and his number. But he has second thoughts as he grabs it from me and slips it into my pocket.
You're cute, pretty boy. But I prefer blondies.
We know that.
Well, you're not exactly my type either, lady. But listen to me. If something comes up, don't do anything rash. If you think you're in danger or if you see anything suspicious, call me and the authorities as soon as possible.
Wait, is this oops, not what I wanted. Was this supposed to happen or is this... Yeah, this was... maybe it wasn't supposed to happen. I don't know. Who knows?
You understand me? That's 99...
I know what the damn emergency number is.
Right, 999. Good. Anyway, I have to run. See you, G.
The guy's quick on his feet, already up and at him as soon as the number leaves his lips. Watching him as he maneuvers through the crowd of other pub goers is enough to tire me out. As fast as he can, he's at the door and throws us a smile. That's all we get before he's gone. Just like that.
Oi, what about your drink, boy? I'll go put it on your tab then.
Holmes boy always like that, G?
Pretty much. But what about you? I suppose I'll put your drinks on your tab too. Don't want you to spill your wallets when you look like you're close to spilling yourself.
Yeah, and if it's fine by you, I think I'll go take a bit of a cat nap here. Just for a sec or two.
Go right ahead. I'll wake you when I close up shop.
Mumbling a sleepy thanks, I dove off on the spot, face pressed on the counter, swimming in cocktails. Already, I dread the pain I'll have for sleeping in such a position. My eye. But when you gotta go, you gotta go. Oh God.
Oh, Marianne! How long have you been standing there, dearie? Come join us, Marianne. We won't bite. Unless you ask, that is.
Not that I can get much sleep to begin with. Alright, the 28th. This is 2 days later. Do people ever have the feeling they're working on something they really enjoy, but still it eventually tires them out? Yes. Alright, 26th. The interior designer once again dragged her frustrations away at the Kroll bar. Albeit heavily intoxicated, she was seen chatting with Ashton Frey, a detective inspector working for the LPD, about Luke Wright. Before abruptly leaving, the detective left her his calling card. Alright. Alright, and then... Oh wait, I want to look at... We are on the 28th. So tonight is the party. Yeah, tonight is the party. We haven't seen the 31st or the 31st of October or the 1st of November. The last thing we did was the 30th when Zach went looking for Ash. Because honestly, I've been feeling like this...
You have certainly exceeded expectations, Marianne. Everything looks so marvelous, and in such a short time, too.
Though moments like these make all the hard work worth it. Definitely.
Well, I can't take all of the credit. People have certainly been enthusiastic about the idea of working on the Wright mansion. There won't be any more problems unless Mr. Wright has any more objections about the second bedroom.
Oh, no.
Because they wanted to make that into a nursery.
I already agreed to him having his greenhouse and his vineyard and his stables. He may as well let me have this one thing.
We're only about halfway done, but the honest satisfaction on a client's face is enough for me to push through. Let's face it, in between my exasperation at Mr. Wright's antics and her, I've been burning the candles at both ends. I can't even close my eyes without seeing a dead girl's face. Dead girl. Dead. She's dead. I had to keep reminding myself that. Burying my feelings as deep as they've buried her body, 6 feet under. I shouldn't waste so much time on someone who's supposed to be gone. I've wasted so many years thinking about her already. There should be no need to bother myself with the dead, when I should be bothering myself with the living. Too bad the living are usually as complicated, if not more, than ghosts of the past.
But don't you have a party?
Yes. But Luke's just being a sweetie, you see. That friend he's visiting. He's having marital problems and he's just trying to cheer him up.
It's even more complicated when the living in question is a pair of rich and famous socialites way past their honeymoon phase. And I've been somehow roped into being a relationship counselor.
They've been married for a long time and they've hit a... how do they say it? A rough patch. His wife has a drinking problem and can be very neglectful. The poor thing really does his best to be a good husband. But it's never enough for her. Sometimes I think it's the years. Maybe it's been so long that they've lost that romantic spark. What do you think?
If I'm going to be completely honest, I need to ask.
Yeah, we saw this part already,
this
though.
is about you and Mr. Wright, isn't it?
Suppose it is. What would you tell me?
Then I tell you it's none of my business. I tell you that I don't want to meddle. But if the troubled husband with the neglectful wife asked me for my honest opinion, I'd say that he shouldn't base his happiness and his self-worth on someone else. Maybe he should try being independent for a while. See what it's like when he isn't trying to please someone else and doing things for himself. Everyone's supposed to be their own man or woman, right? A bit of breathing room never hurt anyone. We shouldn't let our fear control our lives.
Why she thinks a single woman like me would be the best source of relationship advice is beyond me. Still, I talk and answer to the best of my abilities. Without realizing it, I'm already pointing out a part of me that I had thought were long gone. I like to believe my words will be of some help to Mrs. Wright. If I'm honest though, they are some help to me, like some weight have been taken off my shoulders. Lorraine.
I really should handle what's left of the work.
You won't be attending the party? Oh, you really must, Marianne.
The weight of what happened to her hasn't left me yet, did it? Maybe.
I'll try to stay and chat. Maybe grab a few bites and a drink, but I can't be around for the entirety of the event. My apologies. Busy, busy, busy.
You must stay a while. I'd love for you to meet some of my friends, and they're ever so excited to meet you. You need to say hello to the Lees, at least. If it wasn't for them, I'd never even heard of you.
Maybe it's about time I changed that.
We'll see. So, if I can be excused?
Certainly. You'll have to excuse me as well. I must attend to the party before any early birds arrive. Because, believe me, they will throw a fuss if things aren't ready, even when they're not supposed to be here until an hour later.
I'd be pissed, though. I'd be like, well, I guess you're gonna go wait in your car then. Shit, I didn't mean to... Though I shouldn't dwell on the dead, I shouldn't just callously forget about them, too. Saying that I have work left to do is an easy enough excuse to make. I know how other people see me. They see someone who is obsessed with their craft, that she would so easily miss things like a party for it. Outside the parlor, people hurry about here and there in preparation for the Wright's grand housewarming party. Not in spare me glances I slip past them, each working on their appointed rules and not daring to slack off where they work for what is probably the most powerful couple in Luxbourne. I make it to the kitchen with ease, the wine cellar being my final destination. But when is a great task ever simple? Probably never. This is a great task, isn't it? My greatest one yet that is worthy of being called a quest. I'm not acting as Mary McCullough, the professional interior designer, when I chose to lie about being too busy for a party. I'm Mary McCullough, a lawful neutral cleric with 9 points in wisdom and 8 in charisma. Just thinking of it like that makes it a bit cheesy, but it helps with the fear. It helps overcome the insane thought that I'm actually seeking out something that has been plaguing me for years. I might face my worst nightmare, or I might see nothing and find my self-imagined grand quest fall flat. And who would have thought that the gatekeeper to my final quest would be someone I thought would be a valuable ally?
Schnell! Hurry up, you snails! We are on a deadline and you are wasting my time!
The butler comes from the cellar and into the kitchen, tailed by a couple of others, people who I assume are most likely chefs and bartenders. He raises a brow, seeing me just standing there by the hatch, by the trap door. It almost looks like he's going to throw me out for being in the kitchen without permission. But then he motions for the others to disperse and familiarize themselves with their surroundings. Meanwhile, he continues to stand there, preventing entry into the darkness beyond.
What are you doing here, Fraulein? This is not the place for guests or in an architect right now. I request you leave.
I was just looking around for any last-minute things, yes?
Yes, you have been doing that a lot. Looking around, snooping about. Now is not the time for such things. If you're not careful, people might think you are up to something.
The look he gives me as he says this is almost chilling. If life was a game book, he'd probably be the true and neutral warlock guarding the treasure room. A difficult opponent to beat with 9 points of wisdom and 8 in dexterity.
Well, I'm not done yet. I actually need to go into the wine cellar. Just need a quick go at the place. So just don't mind me. I'll be out of your hair soon enough.
Go outside, enjoy the party. Bask in the praise and adulation they will no doubt shower you with when the madam speaks highly of you. Surely you've had enough of this stuffy old kitchen by now. You do not want to cause trouble. Both the Bratwurst and Hannah want this to be perfect. It would be a disservice and disrespect to toe out of line and risk it being anything otherwise. And more importantly, I will be blamed for any failure that happens tonight.
His intervention almost turns me away. Maybe this is a sign I'm not meant to seek Lorraine out. But...
Please, it's really important.
15 minutes. 9, 10 minutes. Any longer and I'll pull you out of there myself. The Bratwurst will be furious if he thinks anyone is touching his precious wine without his permission.
Thank you. This seriously means a lot.
He steps aside begrudgingly. At this point, it looks like there's no turning back. The cellar greets me ominously as I descend. They hang it on the far end of the fucking wall. No, why? The space feels smaller, with a lot more bottles lining the wall compared to before, and knowing what might be waiting for me here makes things worse. The mirror that had been removed from the study is my goal. I did not return to it after my initial discovery, but the thought of Lorraine, how much I want to see her again, even if it's just for one more time, keeps me coming back to mind. As I walk through the cellar, I have to stop when I feel something crunch beneath my feet. Whatever few bottles were left behind here are now nothing but glass under my heels. Perhaps dropped by one of the many chefs and bartenders the butler has escorted here through here before. And it made a downright mess, with red slick pooling for the remnants of a good drink. With how dark this place is, a person with a dark enough imagination could easily mistake it for blood. Can't help but think it is, despite the easy, logical explanation that has come to my mind only because of what I'm about to do. It's merely a momentary distraction as I continue to the end of the cellar where the mirror stands. Propped up on the far wall, it gleams innocently while pretending to be a simple and ordinary mirror. How morbid to think this thing can show a person their deepest, most desperate desires, and then twist it to an image so dark. That's what I'd seen that day. Though I heard Lorraine many times, I'd only seen her here within its frame. I wonder if people had discovered it before. How many were wasted away in front of it, enamored, and how many were frightened away by what they saw? Yet as I stand before it now, nothing. I can barely see my own reflection in the darkness.
How does this even work? Mirror, mirror on the wall? Something? Anything?
Nothing. Touching its surface doesn't make it magically activate or anything like that. There is no sudden urge of power and I'm not suddenly granted sight. It stays what it is, a mirror. Was Lorraine's appearance in the mirror all some sort of fever dream? Am I really that burdened with guilt and despair, that my mind would eat itself in my stress and have me hallucinate such things? Either way, just going here on some crazed obsession for a girl long gone must warrant me a trip to the doctor. Already I feel ill. After a few more minutes, in the hopes that something would change, I turn around to leave. I can just go back upstairs like nothing ever happened, perhaps drop by the party for some I still don't ever know how to say that, then go home and collect myself. Besides, Mrs. Lorraine's expecting me and I'm...
Going to leave me again then, are you?
I stop in my tracks, but I don't look back. As much as it pains me, I don't look back. If I'm just hearing her again, desperately delusional, and I look back to see nothing, don't want to give myself false hope. But when I feel fingers around my wrist pull at me, I look back in shock. My first thought is, how in God's name is this possible? And the second thought is, Lorraine. Her hands are cold.
Are you that mad at me that you're just going to ignore me, Marianne?
I don't know what to say, and I can only stare at her in wonder. She stands there, in the mirror, with only her arm extended outward for my sake. I look at the hand still holding my wrist. When she sees me looking at it, she moves it so that our hands are entwined, fingers weave together. Seeing her there, feeling her touch meant that I'm not crazy, though however impossible and unexplainable this is all to me right now. It just takes my breath away. Pulling her out from there is tempting. I can imagine doing so with ease. We can be together again, Lorraine and Marianne, like nothing had ever happened. But that would be at all a great lie, wouldn't it?
What? Tack out your tongue? Don't just look at me like that. Say something.
Even if this thing was some magic portal that can bring back the dead, that doesn't erase anything. Just looking at her, still a young teenager while I'm already a grown woman, it serves no other reason than to break the illusion that blinds me. I've seen her twice now, always behind the mirror. If this is real, this isn't some delusion, then why can't she only exist behind the glass?
Yeah. You have no idea how happy I am to see you. It's been so long.
You don't look happy.
I really am happy. But at the same time, I can't help but think about what happened. To you.
And what does that mean? What are you saying?
She gives me this peculiar look. And before my eyes, she moves to step out of the mirror. In turn, I wrench my hand away from her and take a step back, almost as if I'm afraid.
I don't know how this is possible. But whatever this is, it isn't real. You can't be real.
I'm right here, aren't I? What other proof do you need?
No. I see you. I hear you. I feel you. But even with all that, you can't be real. You just can't. I saw your body. I helped bury you. You're dead.
A deep hurt crosses her face, and it just breaks my heart in two, seeing her
Burying me wasn't the only thing you did. Don't you dare
wear
lie.
that expression.
But I'm going to be the bigger woman, aren't I? Let bygones be bygones. I'll forgive you, as long as you stay with me, Marianne. That's why you came down here, right? To find me?
Goodbye, Marianne! That was the plan. I came down here looking for her, for closure. But this isn't closure. This is something else entirely. I didn't think I would be forced to make such a choice. Do I leave or do I stay? Oh, we're gonna do both, man. We got the fucking time. Hold on. Oh. Well, we didn't get to do that. Do I stay or do I go now? Oh, I need this. I want to. Let's do the stay, leave, or stay option. Then we'll do the move on, and then we'll see which one's better. I really do want to stay with her. I'm getting tired of pretending, of lying to myself, and the fact that I've admitted this to myself now of all times only brings light to how Lorraine was right about me all along. I should have listened to her.
But Lorraine, you're dead. How can we even stay together?
I know. And it's your fault, isn't it? You tore us apart. But now, you can put us back together again.
And now that I have a choice to fix what I've done to us, then who am I to do otherwise?
I'm so sorry. I must look like a right mess.
I'm here, Em. I'm here now, don't you worry. Come here.
It takes everything I have not to tear up at the sight of her. She reaches out and slips her fingers through mine before pulling me away from the tunnel and towards the mirror. A reflection, a grown woman and a teenager barely past her prime, lends a bizarre light to this whole scene.
I can't imagine how you've been so alone all these years. I left you, Lorraine. I didn't mean to, but that's what I did. I don't even know if you can ever forgive me.
Don't cry. Doesn't suit your pretty face. Besides, I don't have to be alone anymore, do I? You're here
We're
for me,
gonna
aren't
die.
you? You'll never leave me again, will you?
My mouth goes dry as she looks at me. That isn't the plan. This isn't closure. Yet her hand in mine makes me believe that this is real. She's real. That's all that matters. Nothing else.
Yes, of course. I wouldn't dare leave you.
You swear you won't leave me?
I swear to God, I won't, Lorraine.
Though her smile remains, I can only describe her expression as sad. She walks around till she stands just behind me and wraps her arms around my waist. I merely crumble with how I am in her arms once more. And when she puts her chin in the crook of my neck, and I feel her hot breath on my neck, I am filled with both joy and relief. How tall is she? I'm sorry, but you're 5'11" and she's a teenager. How does she get... There's a major height difference! The scent of chocolate, almonds, honey, and beer surround me. My first taste of love. The love that I denied. It had been so bittersweet.
God's not the only one you're making promises to, Marianne. Swear it to me.
Swear to me!
Or, even better, prove it to me.
I'll stay forever with you, Lorraine. I swear it to you.
Oh, we're gonna
How
kill
do
ourselves.
I even prove it to you?
Simple.
She presses something into my hand. It's a shard of glass! A large glass shard from a wine bottle, cold and sharp.
You join me.
I don't like the look in your eyes. Is teacher suggesting that I...
Die for me.
Lorraine! That's... How can I?
How can I even do such a thing?
There's no need to be scared. I'll be here for you until the end, Marianne. Even if you hadn't done the same for me. But that's the only way I can forgive you. The only way we can be together again.
Oh! She guides my hand, raising the glass shard. My own hands are weak, as is my will, and I can only bare my neck to do so as she wishes. There's no reason, no self-preservation, as I mindlessly welcome my own death, as if it will lead me to my salvation. I feel nothing at first, other than the glass touching my skin like a caress, till a stinging sensation blooms from my neck. The pain sears and burns like nothing I felt before, and every breath intensifies the feeling. Even if I wanted to cry out and scream, I can only cough as a slick, metallic taste coats my tongue. The most I can do beyond that is rasp out, calling for her name.
Lorraine.
Cold and weak, I grow worse by the second. I cough with each ragged breath, expelling the blood that I'm inhaling through my slit throat.
Shush now.
No, yes.
It'll be over soon. Really soon.
There's a moment of doubt, as I remember that the devil was once the most beautiful angel in heaven. That I shouldn't be deceived by such beauty. But in my final moments, all of that is soon forgotten. My mouth twitches. I can't even muster the smallest of smiles anymore. But I'll be with Lorraine. Oops. Alright, let's see what happens. Desperate to deal with her painful past, Marianne McCullough excused herself from attending the housewarming party to search for Amy Lorraine within the mansion. Seeing her again, however, made her decide to join her dead friend instead. You've unlocked a memory fragment. Okay. It's the second one. Rebecca. Alright. But we're not done here. I'm going back. I'm going to save here. But we're going to go back. We're going to go back to Marianne. We're going to do the other thing. We'll see what happens. I want to stay. I really do want to stay. With her. I'm getting... Oh, shit. I pricked this the same one I just did. Fuck. I need to move on. Relationship. Nothing really changed. Closure. That's all I came here for. Whatever this is, it might as well just be the devil's... It might as well all be just a devil's trick. And I... might as well make some use of it, right? I say nothing at first, for fear of angering whatever phantom this is. I take Lorraine's hand and bring it to my lips, pressing a kiss into her knuckles. She takes it as some sort of invitation to pull me along, to step back into the mirror until only her arm is extended again.
I should have been more honest back then, both to you and myself. I know it's too late. I'm sorry. But
the thought of being with the dead did not agree with me. Not one bit.
I can't stay with you.
So
Goodbye,
what?
my first love.
You're going to leave me for some old trophy wife? That's it, isn't it? You're going to leave poor Amy Lorraine and go after the next rich, pretty blonde that you see.
This is a mistake.
All these years, guilt has
But we're
been
not
my
going
driving
after
force.
Hana.
I felt so guilty for
Unless
what
she
I did.
really is, but...
What I didn't do.
She thinks she can guilt me to being complacent, but she realizes otherwise as I pull my hand from her. And going by the look of anger on her face, an anger that runs cold, she did not like the fact that I'm not some puppet on a string. Had she chosen her words carefully, I would have accepted whatever punishment Lorraine chooses to give me. Guilt had ran my life, and it might have very well ended it. Because I deserved it.
But what I did to me. The blood in my hands is mine, not yours.
Whoever or whatever this shadow is, my gut tells me she's not Lorraine. Yet, I keep talking as if she is.
I broke your heart, not your neck.
Don't you dare deny it! It was your fault!
Because I loved you more than I dared to admit? Yes, that was my fault. But I never meant to hurt you like that.
Despite my words, no matter how sincere they are, she appears angry, enraged in fact. It's been years since I last saw that face, and even now, the memory of it is still etched deeply in my mind. The hurt, the tears, the hate spilling from her eyes that day, the moment I rejected her. Rejected myself for who I am. And she definitely will hate what I'm about to do next. To my left, a wine rack. And from there, I take a bottle and pray to all the saints I can remember. For all my sins. For every hurtful words I've uttered. For what I've driven her to do that day. What I forced her into.
What are you doing?
I do it without thinking twice. Quickly, before I can hesitate, I grab a bottle and send it straight towards the mirror. Shards of the bottle in the mirror sent flying everywhere as Lorraine's screams echo in the cellar. Bitter. Searing. Like every wounding accusation she hurled at me. They never left me. I doubt they ever will. But with this, I can move away from her. Or from them. From her. Live my life as I should, free from the burden. Her burden. Because Lorraine I know, the real one, the person I loved will never want me carrying this to my death. As the screaming dies down, I can't help but mutter weakly.
It's done. It's done. Oh, Lorraine. Forgive me, Lorraine.
I take some time to compose myself, breathing in and out, stamping down on the tremors still racking my hands, straightening out my jacket and fixing my hair. All a weak attempt at returning myself to someone resembling my normal self. This would probably be easier to do so with a mirror, but I likely won't be able to stand looking at one for a long time.
Well now, I should probably go back up there. Party to attend, rich socialites to do business with, and food to eat. Mrs. Wright will be happy if I make some time for it anyway.
Yet one last time, to the shattered glass beneath my feet.
I'm sorry, Lorraine. May you see God's light on the path.
Turning around to leave, and for good this time. The uneasy...
Come on,
Fuck.
Mac. You really didn't think it would be that easy, did you?
Sorry.
You get bonus points for trying.
The easy smile might falls as I see Lorraine, whole and well. Oh god.
But you should know an 8 in charisma is not enough to turn undead.
Are we dead either way? Did I kill Marion? She advances towards me, backs me against the wall. I can't even reach for another wine bottle without putting myself within her reach. Despite my earlier bravado, I didn't think she would be able to exist at all without the mirror. Can you blame me though? It's not like I'm an expert on the supernatural.
That's not... You shouldn't be...
What? After the mirror? Did you think just moving on will erase what you did to me? You're nothing but a murderer, Marianne. A murderer!
Stay back. You're not real. Leave me alone. Stop. I'm trying to move on with my life, so why won't you let me? Please. Just get out of my head and leave me be.
I try to find an exit when there's a click. The next thing I know, I'm falling back into darkness. Oh. Oh. Well, this is some interesting progress. We'll just save right here. Desperate to deal with her painful past, Mary McCullough excused herself from attending the housewarming party to search for Amy Lorraine within the mansion. Seeing her ghost in the wine cellar, however, a realization hit her and she finally let go. I fall on my back and a door slams shut behind me. In a daze, I look around warily and find myself in another room entirely. On the other side of the wall, Some sort of secret passage, perhaps. An underground tunnel that has me wary and frightened. It also proves that the oddities in the mansion floor plans are a lot more than just little discrepancies. I expect Lorraine to jump out at me from the darkness at any time. A breeze blowing through the tunnel has me relieved, though, at the idea that there's still a way to escape should that happen. That's way better than being trapped underground with... only God knows what that was. A funny thought comes to mind as I start walking to where the exit might be. I think about how Mrs. Wright would be disappointed if I didn't show up to the party. Imagine how furious Mr. Wright would be for breaking one of his wine bottles. Even Johann's reaction comes to mind, though I don't really know with that guy. One thing's for sure is that I would be calling Cam and Haruna for a drink as soon as I get out of here. That noise has me wary. A ghastly thing, a corpse of a woman, leans on a wall. Her arms and limbs, almost every inch of her lithe body, is peppered with wounds and rotting flesh. It is then that the putrid smell of blood and gore hits me, making it so that I don't even question how I missed it in the first place.
How long has this been here? Oh, that smell. Oh, you're a nasty one, aren't you?
I flinch as the thing twitches. And as soon as it opens its eyes and looks at me with a smile, there's nothing on my mind but horror. I break into a run. I try to keep on running no matter how much my legs and feet scream at me to stop. I keep going, even when I look back and see nothing of her anymore, because I can still hear her. The scampering of her feet, the words she tries to form with her bloody mouth, and the painful sounds of bones grinding against each other as she moves closer and closer to me.
How long are these damn tunnels?
There's a split second where I know that thing is right behind me, a strange sensation creeping over my limbs when her presence looms over me. And then suddenly, I can't even do anything before I'm yanked by the hair and pulled back. Still, I struggle, up until I'm thrown into the side like it's some rag doll. I hit the ground on my side, and the musty smell of old hay that reaches me is my only indication that I'm still alive.
Please don't hurt me.
My body hurts, and I keep my eyes shut tight, afraid of what may happen next.
What's wrong, Marianne? Are you really afraid of little old me?
There's only dread, seeing how she has followed me even here. She looms over me, backs me further in the cell that I was thrown in.
Please. It's so cold. I don't want to be alone, Marianne. Why won't you stay with me? Why would you leave me? Why?
What are you?
Are we trapped in there now? Lorraine turns and shifts into that thing from before. There's a camera! There's a camera there! And with that same gruesome grin, it takes a step forward towards the cell. Towards me. I barely scramble to my knees when the door to the cell slams shut, and it just stands there, staring. Shouts for help ring out in the tunnels. But none of them are coming from me. I'm more paralyzed and shocked by what is happening. My throat tightens at being fooled by the image of Lorraine, at the thought of being trapped down here. So then, where?
Help me, oh, help me! Are you getting all this on camera, Carl? Yeah, but are you guys sure this is a good idea? We're breaking and entering here.
So did they write the letter?
Don't worry, the owners of this place haven't been here in a long time. Look at this thing, though. It has writing in blood like some cheesy 80s horror prop. Wait, I have an idea.
Oh, so they put the chain, they send us the 5 people thing.
Oh man, that's genius.
What kind of butthead would even take this thing seriously? Maybe we can stick this in Rowan's backpack. That's Juarez kid would panic.
That sounds like Lorraine. Or not Lorraine, Hana.
Guys? What? Spit it out. Behind you!
There in the corner of the cell, a digital camera flickering to life, and a video has played back on the screen. It was hard to even consider paying any attention to it, when my life is on the line. When the ghost doesn't move and the teenagers' mocking shouts of help me fill the cell, I just had to watch. And what I had seen, students, judging by their St. Goretti uniforms, they were holding...
That letter.
And that thing, the woman, she... Oh. Was that a good ending? Did Marianne survive? Alright. What happened? While trying to While trying to escape the Phantom disguising as her friend, Marianne discovered an underground prison hidden in the deepest corners of the mansion. Now trapped in one of its cells, she found a recording left behind by some of the mansion's victims. Alright, so we'll go to profiles. Let's look about Rebecca. Okay, so she's Scottish. Okay. Although Scottish descent, she grew up in Luxembourg and went to school in St. Goretti. Her parents were professors at European History and Southeast Asian History at Luxembourg University. They're often busy, and that forced Rebecca to be independent early on. Surrounded by books and instilled with a love of learning, she was a star pupil and was often called a teacher's pet for it. Her passion for academics leading to a career in the industry was to be expected of her. She came out of her shell in her high school years and started becoming the Spitfire she is now. Before then, Ashley was her only friend, though she found him aggravating at first. Independent and used to taking care of others, it was no surprise when she helped out the young foreigner who moves in next door. Okay, and I want to look at... Holy shit, Rebecca! I think yours is longer than Zachary's! What the hell, girl? Okay, so this... Oh! Okay, so the ending 2 is bad, ending 1 is good. Okay. Okay, so this one was probably good, this one was probably bad. Which I don't know what those would have been. Okay! But that's good! We found out some really, really fucking interesting shit, and I'm going to save. Let's save over this, Marianne. Alright. This is how it begins, or so they say. I'm just gonna keep on going since we're going to Rebecca's is super freaking long. With a gentle wind drifting through wide open windows, muffled laughters and footsteps fading behind empty hallways, in the light kiss of the afternoon sun. Soon there will be a call, a crossing of thresholds into the unknown. Maybe we are off to some grand adventure, or diving into another gripping mystery. One can't really tell. For all I know, a hero might even come sweep me off my feet, if I'm lucky.
That's not exactly a bad thing when you think about it.
But this is far from one, isn't it? A riveting tale, that is. Alright, so this is the 21st... Okay. Alright, so this is like where we started the first time. Okay. And we still have not gone past October 30th. The mild breeze, the faint murmurs, the warm rays painting every nook and cranny a fiery hue. They are all as real as they can get. As much as I want to write a little tale out of this, I'm far from someone who can. Fleeting fancies. That's what these are. Merely passing thoughts to occupy an idle mind, while waiting for another busy workday to end. Then again, maybe in another life I am one. Who knows? But at present, what I have and what I've chosen to be. Well,
I won't last years here if I find teaching rowdy adolescents a tedious job, will I?
Admittedly, the whole affair isn't exactly as grand or exciting as I imagined as a child. If I weren't so stubborn and too passionate about the whole idea, I probably would have quit a long time ago. But it's always the kids that make it worthwhile, isn't it? As if in agreement, as soon as my pen slides into a neat circle against the papers I'm grading, the final bell rings. Like a dam that's been opened, students begin piling out into the hallway soon after. For a short minute, I let the noise fill my ears, let my mind wander to a place far removed from all the hubbub. Solitary moments like this have come few and far between lately. Even my own home hasn't been as quiet as I usually prefer. Though in hindsight, the entire place hasn't been the same either, since Isabella moved in next door. And if her fussing over a minor coal last week tells anything, I might as well throw any idea of solitude out the nearest balcony, so long as she lives nearby. At the memory, my eyes automatically shift over to the bottle sitting at the edge of my desk. A chuckle escapes from me as I reach for it.
A little ball of energy and enthusiasm. That big baby.
Mother Hen, she calls me, and then says it does the same thing right after. It's not that I'm unused to being on the receiving end of other people's worries, or I feel any sort of apprehension over her fretting. Oh my god, my shoulder. If I am to be completely honest, it's actually amusing how someone can be childlike one minute, then act like a responsible adult the next. But there's a dissonance there, both in her actions and words. Although she may not look like it, may not say anything, may not lose her cheer, one way or another, I know these troubles have weighed down on her lately. Her face says it all. That big numpty. If she thinks I won't notice, she's got another thing coming for her. That's how she has always been. I do understand that part, loud and clear. It's just that I'd really rather not pass another burden on to her.
Or become one myself.
Aren't I supposed to be the one taking care of them? Though I guess that's simply one of those things people eventually grow away from once you've all started leading different lives. Not completely different, I hope. Somehow, that thought makes me feel uneasy. Thankfully, before stranger ideas can take root in my head, a faint buzzing comes from my bag, cutting through the rest of my thoughts. A small frown forms on my lips when the screen lights up, and an unknown number flashes. For a long second, my thumb hovers over the answer button. Even the voice that responds, once I do accept the call, is wholly unfamiliar.
Hello?
Oh, goodness. Finally, it connects. Hello? Is this Miss Gales? Rebecca Gales?
Yes, speaking. Who is this?
Oh, sorry. Rose Cooper.
Okay.
Briar Realty Corporation.
Briar Realty?
My frown deepens as I straighten from my chair. Something in her tone, despite sounding remarkably friendly and light, doesn't sit quite well with me. The rigid pause that follows doesn't help ease the tension that suddenly descended, either.
Miss Cooper?
Yes. Things
It's probably about
confused on my
Isabella.
end. I apologize. I'm not certain if Isabella has mentioned anything before, but we're working together on a property at the moment, and
The Armengard Mansion, yes. She said something about that earlier. Is there a problem?
this is about Isabella, actually.
She wastes no time relaying everything. The details she provided me are admittedly a bit vague, but enough for me to get a gist of what happened. It isn't the bad sort of I'm expecting, though still worrying. Especially with words panic attack and pale looking a bit sickly woven together in one foreboding sentence. But as quickly as it surfaces, I stomp down on the urge to demand answers, right there and then. Now isn't the proper time for useless questions. I'll find out soon enough regardless. To Miss Cooper's credit, she neither hesitates nor falters all throughout. There's some sort of comfort in knowing Isabella has someone like her to guide her, though not as much as I would have liked. After all, this is Isabella we're talking about. What are the chances that she just said a bunch of excuses so she won't get sent home? High. Very high. Oh, she is so going to hear it this time.
You were listed as one of her emergency contacts, so I thought it'd be best you know about this.
How is she? Is she doing okay?
I had her take a break for now, but honestly, I'd feel better if someone were to pick her up and take her home for some rest. Anthem's a fair distance from Luxborn. I really don't want her going off on her own. I'd do it myself, but you know how it is today. Big day. People everywhere until the open house ends. I'm really sorry to ask this of you, Miss Gales. I know you're busy.
Oh, no, it's all good. I was just about to leave from work. I hope to leave early today anyway. A few minutes ahead wouldn't hurt. I can be there in a few, 30, 40 minutes tops. Is that all right?
More than fine, Miss Gales, thank you. We're supposed to be here until... Oh, excuse me. One moment, please. Yes, ma'am.
The faint humble conversation echoes from her end. It sounds as though the place is buzzing with more people than you'll expect from a regular open house. I was skeptical at first. The house is old, not to mention its inconvenient location in Luxborn's outskirts. Who wants to live in a place almost an hour drive away from the comforts of a city? But from what little I can hear, it appears Isabella has every right to be optimistic about this sale. If I didn't understand why she was so adamant refusing my offer to help before, I think I do now. To some degree.
We'll be resuming the tour soon. Yes, thank you. Sorry about that. I really need to get this thing going. Lord knows how I'll salvage the situation here. It shouldn't be anything complicated, but still, clients. It can be difficult when they want to be. Anyway, just look for me when you get here, alright? I shouldn't be too hard to miss.
No problem.
Yeah, green
Thanks for
hair.
letting me know about this. Just make sure Isabella stays put, please. Heaven knows how stubborn that girl can be.
Oh, believe me, I know. Don't worry about it. I'll have a few of our staff keep an eye on her for me until you get here.
That's all I'm asking. I appreciate it.
The whole thing ends on a surprisingly pleasant note. If only the same could be set up for the news she brought. I allow a brief minute to pass to ease whatever tension has lashed itself firmly to my nerves. But no matter how much I wish for it, my mind stubbornly refuses to do so. My hands are unsteady against the papers I pretend to arrange after. Lucid thoughts, every single ounce of it grimmer than the other, grows with each passing second I linger. Something about this whole thing, along with the sudden unease and nagging worry, screams off. Wrong. This isn't the riveting tale I've hoped to step into today. I think Ashton picks her up, actually. Even on a rush, getting everything in order before leaving takes nearly a good quarter hour. By the time I make it out of the classroom, the commotion has already died down, dwindling to mere echoes and distant laughters. From the nearby room, melodies from a rehearsing band drift freely into the air, filling the almost empty hallway with their warm, lively tunes. Any other day, I'll stop, bask in the music, and enjoy what little peace it brings. Not today, however. My steps are brisk and sure as I march to Edward Hall's exit. The sooner I confirm Isabel is okay, the sooner I can shake off this niggling feeling. For one reason or another, that single call, of all possible things, has thrown everything off kilter. I'd rather this be over with as quickly as possible. So that much that I nearly bear over a student in my haste. Though perhaps it's really the other way around. Oh, it's Kylie! When I look down, a set of eyes, bright and hopeful, stare back at me. Her arms are wrapped around my waist like a vice, and at my attention, a grin spins over her face. Miss Pink?
Hello, Kylie. You know, you aren't supposed to run into people like that.
Sorry, Miss Pink. Why isn't she speaking? She loosens her hold on me, but not a hint of guilt or regret appears on her. If anything, it seems like the remark only amused her. A smile appears on my face before I can help it, matching the one on her own.
Just remember not to do it again, all right? You could get hurt.
You sound like my mama when she's scolding Rowan, Miss Pink.
I'm sure your mama only means well. I know she'll be worried sick if one of you were to get hurt. Where's your brother anyway? Aren't you two supposed to be heading home now?
Rowan said he's got some stuff he needs to do before we go. I think he's taking too long. But he promised to buy me jelly babies today if I keep what he's doing a secret from Mama and Papa.
Any chance you'll tell Miss Pink about it?
She shakes her head, both her hands going to her mouth as if to keep a precious secret from spilling out.
I made a promise. He said it's for Tio Luke.
Oh, something like a gift?
Like a deal. Tio promised to take him somewhere cool when he's old
Luke.
enough. Rowan's gonna prove he's a grown-up.
Laughter slips free from my lips. The teacher in me wants to give whoever this Tio is a reprimand for bringing out this kind of behavior in children. But if both Suarez kids are so fond of him, there shouldn't be anything to worry about, yes? At any rate, they're nothing but well-behaved, both Kylie and her brother. Rowan, the eldest, may have an occasional odd streak in and out of class, but their parents taught them well. I see no reason to cast any suspicion of bad behavior on them.
As long as it isn't anything dangerous, all right?
It's not. Cross my heart. My drawings are a lot prettier than what he's doing anyway. Tio said so. Do you want to see? I drew one earlier at class.
Is that why you're here?
Not really. I was gonna show it to my friend first. But since it's you, I'm sure she wouldn't mind if you see it before she does.
Oh,
Sorry.
Oh no. I can't stay right now, Kylie.
Her face falls immediately, after the words are out. Aw, come on! A small part of me feels responsible for that crestfallen look. But as much as I want to stay a little longer, there's another place I need to be at right now. And frankly, another child to look after. Taking both of her hands, I kneel in front of her and muster the most rueful smile I can give. At her age, I'm quite sure she already understands what I'm about to say before they're even out. But remarkably, she doesn't look away or pout as I'm expecting her to.
I'm sorry. You know what? Rowan has a class with me on Monday around this time. Why don't you drop by again next week? After class? I'll even make sure to wait for you. It's just that I absolutely must leave now. My friend had an accident earlier, and I'm the only one she has here.
What about her mama and papa?
Her family lives really far from here, I'm afraid. Do you remember where Asia is? The southeast part? That's where they are.
Her eyes immediately lit up at my question. Just like that, I know I've earned the girls' forgiveness.
Oh, just like Takako.
Who?
My friend. She said she used to live there, only just a little higher than southeast. But she hasn't come home in a long time, so she doesn't remember much about it anymore. Melody says it's weird I talked to her, but I think she's just shy. They could be good friends too! Don't you think so, Miss Pink?
Maybe if you introduce them properly, they will be.
That's what I think. Takako's just lonely. If she makes more friends, she won't be anymore.
Well,
Is your
you
friend
go
like
help
that
her
too?
make friends.
A little, possibly. To be honest, sometimes I can't tell with her.
After all, Isabella has always been the kind to hold a smile, even when things have taken a turn for the worse. 5 years and one will think is enough time to know a person. But when you consider it, come to think of it, all these years I've never, not even once, seen her cry. Not over a trivial matter, even when things are rough or tough.
Okay, you can go to her. I'll just show you my drawing next time.
Thank you. Remind me to buy you a huge glass of parfait, all right?
No, I'll get a stomachache. Takako says so. A small one is okay.
I'll remember that. Say hi to your friend for me.
I will. I'm sure she'd love to meet you too. See you, Miss Pink.
I'll see you later, Kylie.
London Bridge is falling down.
Don't sing that song.
Down,
She doesn't-
falling down.
She doesn't look back or wait for any sort of goodbye from me. With a song and an extra spring in her steps, she bounds across the corridor with as much spirit only a child her age can have. As if the conversation has never taken any downhill turn for her at all. As if there isn't a single worry about in the world. Not long after, she disappears behind a door, leaving behind strains of an old familiar rhyme lingering in the air. Carefree, unbidden, untroubled moments like this, I envy her. And as I resume my hurried pace, a tiny whisper at the back of my mind, which is the same can be said of myself and my own worries. Alright, let's see what this says. Tell me to play first! There it is. Rebecca Gales received a phone call from Rose Cooper after class, asking her to pick up Isabella Santos from the Ermengarde mansion. On her way out of school, an excited Kylie Suarez stopped her favorite teacher from leaving. Luxembourg may be a small city, but it's no stranger to hellish rush hour traffic. But surprisingly, getting out of the city today proves more of a breeze than a hassle. A relief, considering how none of my calls to Isabella had made it through. Either the reception is really bad over there, or she's ignoring them on purpose. Really bad! Both does nothing to ease the disquiet in me. The rest of my drive passes without much incident as soon as I'm out the busy streets. In less than 30 minutes, the mansion looms ahead of me. I think she's gone already, though. For all the fuss Isabella made about the house, it remains a thing of beauty. Unlike Luxborn, the estate in the nearby Anslem village stands its complete opposite. Living and breathing the songs of the old, whispers of a once booming haven lingering in the air. Contemporary convenience inside, it's a place I'm glad modernization hasn't wholly touched.
It's just a shame the locals know more of the silly hearsay than the history itself.
What did you just say? Okay,
If I could only knock some sense
it
into
didn't
these
sound like
people.
what she said matched up to what the line said. Sadly, complaining is all I can afford to do. And much as I want to give them a piece of my mind, it isn't why I'm here. I don't think these rich types will appreciate getting a lecture from me either. I have as much business with them as they have with me. With a heavy sigh, I give myself one last second to take in the scenery before heading up to the main entrance. Most of the guests are already heading out. Though some still linger, it's mainly just to take photos of the house's facade or its various rooms. I pause for a moment, scanning the small crowd gathered at the foyer, looking for any sign of that familiar ponytail among the sea of hats and heads.
No sign of her.
No sign of the other staff or Miss Cooper either. I could certainly look for Isabella on my own, but in a place this big, I think that's what it said, I'd be lucky if I didn't end up lost or find her before we went to where you'd need to meet with Zachary and Ash tonight. Sighing, I reached for my mobile and redialed her number, the gesture familiar now after so many attempts earlier. If she doesn't answer, I could still try contacting Miss Cooper. I just hope the network reception will cooperate this time. This side of the country has never been popular with the tech savvy after all. To my relief, it only took 3 unsuccessful tries. At the 4th one, where I was about to switch to another intercept message, the line finally rings. Silence falls while I wait for her to pick up, the ringing going far too long for my tastes. By now, most of the visitors have already cleared out. All I have for company are the faint murmurs and an eerie calmness left in their wake. A sudden hush settles and gives way to noises louder than they ever meant to be. Doors creaking and slamming shut in some distant part of the mansion, floorboards groaning under the sheer weight of the house's history. In the now empty hall, they all reverberate with special clarity against the walls. Like this, those old stories seem to almost have a ring of truth to it. I don't get to stray far into that. Fuck, did it again. I don't get to stray far into the ugly land of thought, however. Not a second later, a click sounds from the other end.
Hello? Isabella? Miss Cooper called earlier and...
Isabella doesn't sound good.
Isabella? Belle? Are you alright?
Without any warning, the call gets cut off. Busy notes blare sharply against the heavy silence. But above the noise cutting through the mute air, remains the faint cries of a woman. From beyond the foyer. My hand falls to my side as I cast a wary look around, waiting for someone to come running. Surely I can't be the only one hearing this. There must still be some staff hanging around, checking things out. But no one does. Not even when I hear her sobs turn more frantic and anguished.
Excuse me? Hello? Who's there? Isabella? Isabella? Is that you?
No. No answer. Growing anxious, I amble over where her cries come from, each step slow and cautious, towards the door on the other end of the room. While I'm far from someone who readily gives in to fear or stories lacking factual basis, the vague, restless feeling I had earlier immediately returns to me. And despite myself, my heart begins to race and my breathing quickens.
Belle? Belle, it's me. Miss Cooper called. Is everything okay?
Abruptly, all of it stops. My whole body tenses, mouth dragging in a ragged breath, ears straining for any other sound yet to come from the other side. But nothing follows. Instead, the quiet only lends itself to the heavy tension in the air, as if every small movement would disturb the fragile stillness hanging in the room. I wait for another second. Then, with a caution, I reach for the knob. My fingers barely graze the brass handle when a hand falls on my shoulder.
Excuse me, ma'am? I am so sorry. I didn't mean to startle you.
It's
Alright, I'm gonna leave this off here. Next episode, we will continue with Rebecca. Alright. Ashton's is down. Wow. And so is Isabella. Oh well, whatever. We'll fix it. But anyways, I want to see... Oh my god. Okay. So this must be ending 1, ending 2, ending 1, ending 1B, and ending... yeah. Yeah? Okay. But first, I want to go to the menu real quick. Alright, gallery. Not what I want. Extras. No? Where is it? Oh, CGs. Okay. So we had two memory fragments out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Out of 8. Okay. So, I don't know what this is about, but if you guys remember, before the last scene we had with Marianne cut out, the ghost woman creature thing was like flickering to her, was flickering in and out. And she must be one of the owners of the house, and this must have been the couple, maybe? Or no! What if that's, Charlotte Ermengarde, the woman who, I think they said she committed suicide. She was the daughter of the people who owned the mansion. So, and then this one, it looks like she's watching a woman being sexually molested or raped. That's what it looks like, because she's looking there grinning evilly, and she's not having a fun time, and I'm wondering if it's this douchebag right here. And I'm curious, I don't know if the whole story is going to be explained through, by the end, maybe, it might be, I can kind of see it being there, being explained, because it's I don't know, I just kind of can. But anyways, I'm gonna leave this off here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like if you liked it, leave a comment if you liked it, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye!
Morning, students found a 5th-year dead. Assumed to have fallen from her dormitory window.
They told us that it was an accident. That was the official statement. She committed suicide. But I knew better. She was dead because of me.
May have had a hook and I kicked the bucket, didn't she?